we doing today in the BitB chat area? Hello, let me move my mic a little bit. Howdy, hey. Shenanigans. Hello. You can finally make a stream. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. Hola. The hell was that? Ah, Kitty-chan! Someone. Anyway, I'm just trying to like sort of wake myself up here. I have been burning the candle at both ends, so to speak, so I am a little bit sleepy today. But that's fine. I'm gonna try and like shake myself past that. Hello, balloon man. I'm not a balloon. How dare? I'm not an inflatable like individual. I am the bit. But thank you. It's been a while since I've appeared here. Well, that's cool. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you very much for coming in and, joining the crazy. Here, I'm going to dive on into the chat real quick. There we go. Anyway. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some Stardew, sort of chilling out, just sort of vibing. Trying to, like, do a little bit of conversation and stuff in the chat, possibly. Here, let me adjust this cable. It's, like, draping over my neck, and it's creepy. It's like something, like, rubbing the back of my neck and, like, being weird. You are a balloon now. I've given you balloon curse. I refuse. Unless I'm a water balloon. In which case, that would make sense. Okay, then. So, yeah, let me go ahead and, oh, actually, wait, have I booted up Stardew? I think I did at one point. But, like, I'm still trying to make, like, little adjustments to the way that I have the framing set up on my desktop. Now, for people that have been missing a whole bunch of my streams here, I ended up reformatting my Windows install because Windows Update decided to be a jerk and break on me. And then the negative of that was that I ended up, like, I don't know, just a whole lot of chaos, and I've been trying to, like, put everything back together here. There we go. Played the Majima noise if you still have it. I don't think I have that mapped right now. I've currently got my my Stream Deck mapped to a bunch of like practical stuff, like, you know, moderator tools, playing ads, leaving like, you know, VOD notes. There we go. Okay. Shush up that sound. Shut that noise. There we go. Tomatoes. How dare you? Stop throwing tomatoes at me. Boo. There we go. Okay, in theory, this is all queued up. Yep. Okay, it looks like it does work. Yay. So remember how you said I will gain an empty void after I played the Half-Life games? Well, I started playing Half-Life mods. Ah, there we go. Well, I'm more talking about the void of, like, there is no Half-Life 3, and there likely never will. So...
There was a Half-Life 3. It was called Half-Life Alyx.
3, kinda. Half-Life. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but, like, you know, for people that didn't see it, but it was almost, like... It was almost not even slightly a sequel. It was mostly prequel. But hello, how's it going, Nova? Or wait, sorry.
What?
I got that right. Brain, I'm so tired.
No, it's okay. I understand. I am too.
Ah. What do you do in your spare time, Mr. of Bytes? Well, my spare time is mostly used to do the stream, actually. This is the main thing. 1, 2, Alex, 4, 5. Oh, that's how they're going to get around it? We're going to have Half-Life 4, we get Half-Life 3. That sounds about right. Anyway, what's the fortune teller say to me? Damn it! Alright, well. What are you going to do? Oh, yeah, the granny is letting me know, just like, hey, don't put any cabbages down at this point in the year. Please and thank you. It's like, okay, no, I got you. I think I probably should go and pick up some more plants and plant them real quick, though.
like to start playing Stardew again, honestly, but I kind of don't want to fall back into the rabbit hole, into the modding rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah. Thankfully, I tend to stick to a lot of, like, vanilla experiences with video games, so... Unless it's a game that's, like, specifically massively enhanced by... Like,
Stardew is
it
very
is, but,
specifically
like...
massively enhanced
I'm
by
talking,
mods,
like...
IMO.
There's gotta be, like, so little content in the base game itself that, like, it pays to, go into it with a little bit more modding. I don't know, also, I need to have a little bit more, like, you know, fascination with it. Stardew is always kind of a, I guess it's nice. I guess it's fun. It's good on its own.
I used to think that too, and then I installed mods, and I was like, my god, I can never play the vanilla game ever again, especially after playing a mod called Stardew Valley Expanded. Oh my god, it's like if an entire... So, the game was basically made by one person. Stardew Valley Extended is if it was made by an entire team of people. It overhauls the game so much. It adds so much content. It's insane.
Wow. That's cool.
It's really cool.
Let's see. I was recently playing a game with synth. I think the game is called The Only Move Is Hustle.
Heard of that?
What now?
I've heard of it.
Oh yeah. And if anybody has not heard of it, basically imagine like a stick fight, except it's turn-based, and it's based on like how many frames of animation you have like freed up for you. It's interesting. Like, so, you know, each one of the players will like take turns in trying to fight and counter each other, and you only have like split amounts of time to be able to like make decisions. And again, it's turn-based, so it like flips back and forth, and then it pauses like a ton of times. And then by the time the fight finally ends, and you have like a victor in the fight, then they play the whole thing back at full speed, and it basically just looks like a stick fight from like, you know, early internet. Basically,
That's
like
really funny.
The crazy over animated stuff. And
That sounds really fun.
It is. Oh, I mean, like it's a slow burn. It's one of those like you really have to be into the idea of like strategy. Like you have to really be into the idea of like, good play, good sir. You know, it's just like, aha, you called my bluff. Mm-hmm. And then by the end of it, like, then you get the super crazy, awesome fight. But like, the interesting thing to me is that like, I mean, it's fairly decent on its own, but you only have like 4 things to play as. You know, it's like, oh, a ninja, a cowboy, a robot. But then, oh, grab that. But then, like, the modding community is insane, and people have already made ridiculous stuff to add to the game. So you can play as Sans, obviously.
Of course you can.
Somebody had to. They've also got a Toriel and Asgore mod, which like is amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
It is fully fleshed out. It's ridiculous. It's basically
really
just
cool.
Somebody made like a good set of 2 characters that like work side by side, and it just like just by itself it works really well as its own like set of characters, except it happens to be themed as like Toriel and Asgore, which is nice.
Cool.
There's Michael Jackson.
Amazing.
Because sure. Is Muscle Man playable? Muscle Man. Refresh my memory.
Regular show.
Regular show? I don't think so. And I'm pretty sure Muscle Man's mom is not playable either.
Did you ever see the episode where his mom is actually in the episode?
His mom's in the episode?
I think the episode is actually called My Mom.
Are we talking about Undertale now? Wasn't paying attention. It's fine. At some point, I will be playing Undertale Yellow, just like a heads up. I have not played it yet. No spoilers.
Yeah, I've heard
I get this
a lot of people being really harsh on it.
Oh,
but,
really?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people being really harsh on it. But one YouTuber guy that I really trust, Scott Falco, who's an animator, He had a really good, fair review of it, I think. So I trust his opinion.
Okay.
So
So I believe this is Robin's axe. I need to deliver that up to her. I don't know. For like a completely free experience that's been worked on for the period of like 8 years, like I'll give a little bit of flexibility. Robin.
maze that could survive a project like that could survive that long because
I know,
like
right?
I heard development on that game started with some of the developers were teenagers. So presumably they started the games like with developing the games when they were like in middle or high school and then now are probably like in college or graduating. I'm like, how the hell did you get through middle and high school and still work on this game?
I mean,
Or
most
high
people
school
get
and
really
college.
bored of something like after the span of 6 months, and then they like drop it and
Yeah.
move on to doing something else. To
Yeah.
have like that kind of passion for 8 years straight.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
I like the shorts that Scott made from the video too. I have not seen it, so I wouldn't know.
Oh yeah. There's
My
like a
Little
little
Pony
animation.
Friendship is Magic theme song is the best. I mean, I was never a gigantic fan of My Little Pony. Like, I don't hate it, but also it's one of those like, not my vibe, not my thing.
By
But
the
the
people who do or don't like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, because there are been a lot of people who I thought would love it and they didn't like it at all, and then there are a bunch of people who I thought would hate it or not be into it at all, and then they loved it. So it's like I
and
can
they're the
never.
people
That's
that
one
are
show
like
I
the
can never
lore,
predict who will like it.
the lore of My Little Pony. Do 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 do. Look at all the salmon berries. It'll be interesting. Like, I mean, I've been spoiled a little handful of certain things just based on, people say stuff on Twitter, and that I'm just like, oh, damn it. Quiet down. I have not played the thing yet. Surprisingly, like, not everybody immediately jumps on board something the second it comes out. I'm one of those people. I tend to be distracted by literally
But it's
everything
not an
else.
official thing. It's just a fan game that Toby gave his blessing to.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so, like, obviously, I mean, I don't know whether or not there's going to be some weird plot twist or anything, but given the fact that, like, the 7 souls end up in the jars in the first place, I suspect that there's going to be one specific fate for our main character.
Yeah,
Like, I
there is
can...
multiple endings though. Apparently. Because it's still got all the same routes as regular until you can do neutral. There's pacifist route, neutral route, genocide route.
Oh, what, so your heart is, like, less pure as it gets bottled up into a jar? I guess I shouldn't ask any
Or
questions.
it might maybe like the circumstances of how the yellow kid ends up in the jar. Depends on the route.
Get in the jar, you little piece of shit. Would you happen to have the knowledge of which Homo sapien also suspects that there will be one specific fate in your main character? Yeah, I'm aware of that. And yes, it is your mother. Here, let me... Oh, what do I make? We have, like, just enough time to maybe make another round of cauliflower, perhaps. I think, because it takes, like... Well, no. No, maybe not. I did just get a warning by Grandma about that one. I don't want to waste my money. Well, what takes a heck of a lot of time, and what also... I think the jazz flowers would be a nice thing to grow. Oh, my inventory's full. Shoot. Okay. Take
Yeah,
the
I hate
take the
the
string
inventory
onion.
management for the game Stardew. You like want to buy the inventory upgrades like literally the first thing possible. And also, whenever you go into the town, put your tools in the box in your house.
I just never remember to do that. Here. I'm
I
gonna go
think
into
you
the
have to.
museum and drop that
Yeah,
off.
and that's again why the early inventory management is super annoying because you will forget to do that a lot.
Mm-hmm. We back in the Stardew for the casual streams. You know who else has dementia? You know who else has dementia? You know who else? I'm sorry. That's
I
a
would
terrible
find
joke.
it easier. I would laugh at that if recently a family friend of ours, a neighbor who we've known for several years, is not.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a
He
terrible
has been
illness.
suffering from dementia for a while and he's on a deathbed. So
It's the scariest. I mean, look, there's a lot of things that you can ail from, but like the thing that I
yeah,
think scares me the most is like neurological and like memory based things.
oh
Like
yeah,
to
same
have
here.
that fade away from you, it almost. I would much rather have my pancreas explode. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I would much rather die by that or like have an ailment like that as opposed to you as a human being slowly drifts away outside of your
yeah,
control.
yeah. It was disturbing to see. We went to was recent. So yeah, he and his wife were family friends of ours for a long time. They used to be our neighbors, and we still kept in touch with them. I've known them since I was a little kid, so uh, I'm not as close with them as my parents are, but like I've known them since I was a little kid. So it was very sad to see when I like went to his wife's birthday party not all that long ago. He was there, but he didn't even know where he was.
That sucks.
He was just like physically there, but I don't know what was going on with his mind at all. He didn't seem to know like who was there, where he was, or even knew it was her birthday. It
Mm.
was just really sad and disturbing to see. And and now he's probably going to die within the next. They say it could be a couple days, could be a couple weeks. They don't know. So
Oh, that's terrifying.
yeah.
Um, I forget. Like, there's one thing that like really reminded me of stuff similar, like to dementia. When I was playing Cyberpunk, I'm sure that anybody who is watching the stream probably doesn't care about any spoilers with
Hmm.
Cyberpunk because it's been out forever. Um, but there's this one particular route that you can take with one of the main characters in Phantom Liberty, um, and her entire like story arc is essentially she she meddles with like this thing called the Black Wall, which is like basically this wall that protects all of us from like rogue AIs that are just sitting out into the ether that could potentially kill us all. Um, and yet, so like meddling with the Black Wall really like messes with you, and it screws with your brain, and it screws with like uh, just memories, neurons, and your abilities. And like every time you tag the Black Wall, you are risking potentially being infected by something from the other side. Um,
Terrifying.
and like at a certain point in the story, like you end up in a sequence where it is more or less an allegory of you inside of their memory as they are trying to like recall everything, and you're trying to have a conversation
Damn.
with them as they're just slipping.
Jeez.
And by the time you finally get out of there, like they've been through so much shit, and they have been like they've lost so much of themselves to the Black Wall that they just look at you and ask to be killed. Just like
That is. Are we sure Cyberpunk is not a horror game?
it's like I mean, funny enough, a lot of people point out that Cyberpunk like has a lot of elements of like horror, or at least the fear of what our world will become if it is left to. I mean, there's a lot of like really existential shit that's in Cyberpunk, frankly. Just the
Makes
whole
a lot
like,
of sense. I mean, that's kind of where the actual cyberpunk genre goes a lot of the time.
hmm, it's pretty good, well written stuff.
I bet it is. Yeah.
I mean, a big
Honestly, a
part.
game I'd like to play now that it's been patched and everything, and it's like
I recommend it. It's pretty fun.
in like an acceptable state. But I don't know if my computer could run it.
I was just gonna say, like, you should probably have something that's fairly beefy. I mean,
I
they've done a
have
good
a
job. They've done a good job of readjusting it so that it will work on not potatoes, but things that are like adjacent to them. Good evening,
I have a,
Night City.
I have a gaming laptop from 2019.
Cyberpunk, a psychological horror game. Who would have guessed? I know we're talking about something serious, but I really want to watch
A gaming
Ninjas.
laptop from 2019. It was like one of the best ones you could get at the time. But
Well, unfortunately, I don't think Cyberpunk's gonna like. Cyberpunk is definitely one of those games now that like it sets the bar as the benchmark for what I think all new hardware kind of has to live up to. Because it's got a lot of new stuff built into it.
yeah, I can't really. I would. Thing is, what I would really love to get is an actual like desktop gaming PC that I build. But I don't really feel comfortable doing that until I have a permanent place to live, because I don't want to have to stay at my parents' house a second longer than I have to.
That's fair. Absolutely fair.
Yeah.
Hello, we got a mail. Pierre's store is now selling fertilizers. You know, in case you messed up and you ended up like, you know, actually no, you need to like put the fertilizer down first before you even plant. So like, you know, there's strategics with that. Okay, people want chub, but I don't want to go and fish for chub. Whoop-de-doo. I have the Discord message sound effect stuck in my head and it's driving me crazy. Wow. That sounds miserable. I'm imagining like, man, like
Thing
okay.
that short stuck in your head.
I'm thankful that like I've been doing better with remembering to shut off my Discord notification sounds during streams. And I apologize when I don't do that because then it just triggers everybody inside the chat. Just like, why? Where'd that sound?
Oh yeah,
Where's the notification? What? Who's sending me messages?
Yeah, that's why that's why my Discord status is always busy. Is I just don't like the notification sounds.
All right. Well, I know a couple of people, they don't like the notification sound strictly because of like anxiety of like getting new messages. And you know, I totally get that. Oh, you know, it's one thing that I've done that I am eternally thankful for. Aside from Discord, all my social media, I just turned my notifications off for them. Like I'm done with getting notifications for social media now.
I want to do that, but then I'm afraid I will miss something like an important message from someone if I do that.
I mean, like I specifically do that for that exact reason for Discord because I've planted myself pretty firmly into Discord and I have like the Discord server and all that jazz and
Yeah.
but when it comes to social media, I've reached an interesting little nirvana in my head. That being that like I can answer to anything that someone sends me at any time. And like I just realized how habitually I was like the second that I would get a notification, I would immediately check it. And I realized like, you know, it would help me out considerably if I didn't do this and I just checked it in like one big package a day or something. And I know that's not very efficient, but if there's something that's like actually seriously important, maybe then I would pay attention to it, but
Yeah, I'm just always afraid that I will get messaged about something seriously important.
I mean, it happens, but I guess like if there's anybody that I work with that specifically like has stuff that important to tell me, I try and like I don't hand over my phone number, but like I ask them to contact me on platforms that like I am more active on.
That's fair.
To me, social media is just that's not it. Like that ain't it, bro. That ain't it.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, for me, I moderate a couple of Discord servers, so it's kind of better that if I need to be contacted for moderation purposes, that I can be contacted.
Right. Sealy says you should play Lethal Company with viewers at some point. I would love to do that. I don't know if I would play it with viewers. I might play it at some point with like some friends, but because I played a little bit of Lethal Company, and it's fun.
That game is that something is that game free to play or do you have to buy it?
No, you have to buy it. But
I see.
On the other hand, it's dirt cheap. Like it's $10.
Right.
It's not that. I think it's $10 if I remember right. Whatever. It's like it's very cheap, and it goes to an indie dev, and I'd prefer to hand my money over to an indie dev as opposed to handing it over to like another AAA developer who decides to lock their game behind like extra microtransactions and DRM.
Right.
Oh, it's also made by the same guy who did The Upturned, which I think is even funnier.
Hey, that's really cool. Yeah, that game was super interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Bloop. And I say that at every single chance I can because I'm sure there's a lot of people that have not heard of or have not given The Upturn a chance. And I'm telling you, if you like Lethal Company, you will like Upturned. It's basically sort of a Lethal Company-esque game, except single player, and it's got like a bunch of like, comedy built into it. So just go play that. It's good stuff. You will probably enjoy it. Oh, gosh. Darn dang it. How much more money do I need? And I think it's like 2,000 coin. I need to get me that pack. Ah! Dang it! Ah!
Hello?
Yeah, but the fishing hole is here.
Am I back? Hello?
Oh, hi. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, my internet like went out for a minute, so
Oh, okay.
I wanted to see if I got reconnected.
Upturned is pretty fun, says Moon. Currently fishing. Give me a second. Stay on the line. Thank you. Funny part was that I got through the game before Lethal Company got popular. Yep. Hey, I mean, I played Upturned right before, like...
It's like a year or two
year and a
ago,
half
right?
or so. What was that? I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
No, it was like that was on a Snatcher Plays, and it was like, was it last year or the year before?
It was the year before. It was the year that the Snatcher ended up in
when
the
did you
Papyrus.
when you played that was on a Snatcher Plays?
What was
Yeah, that was it. So that was not that was the Snatcher Plays, yeah, from 2022.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to get nothing but one type of fish, please. No more seaweed, damn it. How in the Jesus Christ was 2015 almost a decade ago? I was reminded that a little bit earlier. And I wanted to slug the person that reminded me of that. I'm just like, stop it. I don't need to be reminded about the passage of time. Damn it. Things felt so easy and so different back then. "2018 was 6 years ago. Not too shocked about that. It's like the decade marker.
Yeah.
When you hit like 10 years, you're just like, holy shit, 10 years. 10's a lot of years. I am taking full advantage of this fishing hole. Holy crap. Give me that fishing stat. Damn it! I guess I don't need the salmon berry. No, let me think. Like, there's a bunch of things that I just don't allow notifications in. Oh, one of the things I definitely don't allow notifications in, my freaking browser. Like, okay.
Oh yeah,
I
for sure.
I understand. A few people probably want to get notifications in browsers. Like, you probably use some sort of website that allows that feature. Maybe you've gotten used to it. But I guess as a kid of the 90s and the early 2000s, the idea that your internet browser could ping you and just be like, "Hey, such and such web app or like such and such website wants your attention." It's like, the hell it does. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
the only time I use that is for esports tournaments, like when I would do Shadowverse tournaments, because I would do them through a thing called BattleFi. And so, like, whenever you had the next match ready, the browser would send you a notification, and I kind of needed that, or there was a chance you would miss your match and lose. So,
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's practical. But like when just a random like, store or whatever the hell,
yeah,
like Amazon's like, "Would you like to receive notifications through your browser?" I'm just like, "I will come to you if I need to buy something. I don't need you to be reminding me that you happen to have a large selection of socks."
great.
Here, let me check the chat real quick. Have you read the book Matilda by Ronald Dahl or watched one of the movies? No, but I think I've heard of it, and I'm not entirely sure what it entails or what is in it. I know, like, the name Matilda.
The movie, with Mara Wilson.
Ah! Oh, that's where I remember it. Mara Wilson. Did you know each tentacle on an octopus can think and see independently? Says Sealy. Is this true?
I wish I was enough of an octopus expert to say yes, and I'm kind of ashamed that I'm not.
I've never needed to know this information. This is kind of one of those things where I'm just like, I mean, I'm not going to take your word for it, but it'd be an interesting fun fact if true. I'm trying so hard to like not fall into misinformation, He's real? Alright. See, I don't know. I saw what was that one video by Hugbees? The one where he was talking about like state, goofy state laws. Because there were a lot of websites that were making like, top weird state laws that exist. And he went in and he either confirmed or debunked all of the weirdest ones on the list. And it's funny because like some of them were kind of egregious in the fact that no, they're not a law, never have been. It's just something that was kind of extrapolated over one very specific instance where one person said, all right, well, technically this law exists. And if this law exists, and if this certain situation happens, then technically speaking, that means that this is legally something that, you can get arrested for. And then out of technicality, it's just like, okay, yeah, sure. I guess technically that means that you're right. Technically that's a law. One thing I do know is that octopuses can squeeze through any spot larger than their beak. Yeah, right. They're very squishy. All right, let's keep those guys. Keep a couple of those. And I'll keep you. And then I'll sell these guys. We need Bit to do a Sans impression. I don't think I do a great Sans impression.
Is low pitch beeps.
Right. I mean, Sans is just like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, kid, want to buy a hot dog? God. All right, I've used up basically all my energy for the day. It's 5:40. I wonder if I've got enough time that I could run through the forest and, like, grab me more salmon berry. I doubt there's a good surplus of it, but... Because I think it's, like, all of the berries have a chance of having salmon berry on them, but, like, they rotate out at, like, for 3 days. So you could probably leave salmon berry collecting for about 3 days to, like, maximize. I'm trying to remember the specifics on that one. He canonically sounds like Patrick. Oh well, yeah, because like his soundbite is literally just a sound clip of Patrick, right?
That but it's never been confirmed. That was just like one thing that people theorized based on like a similar sounding sample. But yeah, it's been theorized based on like some comparisons of the samples that the sound beep that's used for Sans is sampled from a clip of Patrick.
It's damn close, I'll say.
It's very close. It's very possible. Toby's never confirmed that was the actual source
Well, of course he wouldn't confirm that, because if he
of the
confirmed it,
of
then,
the
you
of
know,
the of the
Viacom
beep
would come
sound,
and
but
completely
possible.
annihilate him.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, look, a reason to sue somebody who's super successful? Sweet! I don't know.
Yeah, it's
It's
the
so
line.
derivative
Maybe
at
it's
that
the way
point
you're
that,
dressed.
like,
Yeah.
what? So you used, like, a splinter of time, like, of, like, one voice clip of one character you have. I'd say
It's
that's
like
massive. That's
it's like
massively transformative.
a millisecond of sound. Like
Maybe it's the way you're
he
dressed.
massively edited a millisecond of existing sound. Ridiculous.
The question is, like, where did the sound clip come from of, you know, all of the goat individuals? Because, like, I think it's been confirmed that, if I remember right, all the goat individuals have, like, the exact same sound clip, except either, like, pitched up or pitched down,
Cool.
or something very similar to that. It
So
reminds me a
wonder.
lot
So
of, in Mario 64, like, the boo sound effect is literally just Bowser's,
oh
like,
yeah,
roar.
well, that's cool.
It gives me those vibes.
That makes me wonder then if whatever clip was used for either Sans or Papyrus, if the other one is that sample, but also just like with the pitch messed with.
Oh yeah, or like, you know, slightly, you know, an adjustment on something, whether it be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what filters you would run Sans's voice through to make it sound like Papyrus, and I'm having a hard time with that one.
Or maybe Papyrus was the sample, and then that was edited for Sans. Because I think because Toby like showed off some of his like original like concept notes once before, and I think Papyrus predated the other two.
Okay.
Like he came up with Papyrus first, and then Sans and
The boo laugh is just Charles Martinet
what
laughing.
is strongly implied to be Gaster, who because everyone also thinks. Yeah, it's like you can kind of figure out from some of Toby's old notes that most likely, yeah, Gaster is that's it's technically a theory, but there's been a lot of like things that kind of imply and point to it. So yeah, and one of them is being Toby's old notes. So yeah, so it's we think so. Papyrus was the first one, and then he came up with Sans and Gaster later.
Okay. I think that's all the time I have for the day. Kitty.
The biggest tell is just all the skeletons are named after fonts, and Gaster is WD Gaster Wingdings, and then there is that one bit that you can get in Undertale where he talks in Wingdings. So it's it's practically soft confirmed that yeah, he's a skeleton because his name is Wingdings
Right.
and he talks in Wingdings.
Hello, everyone. It's me, the Great Papyrus, and today I'm going to teach you how to cook some amazing frozen hot dogs. Holy shit! Sans! Okay, so my luck is slightly turned around today. Have you seen that video? I have not, but I can kind of envision it. Ah, Undertale shitposts. They're great. Ah, Florian is here. Hello! If they don't make a movie where Chris Pratt voices everyone, I will be disappointed in society. Hey, yo, what up? It's me, the Great Papyrus. Why in the good God does Papyrus sound like Waluigi? Whack. Whack. Okay, so what else could I accomplish while I'm out here? I haven't done anything with, like, hunting in the caves yet. I mean, a lot of farm work has to be done. That's the thing.
Can you still hear me okay?
I can hear you. Have you been cutting out?
Yeah, so I actually just switched to Discord on my phone because for some reason the internet has been very obnoxious and spotty lately, and for some reason Discord stays much better connected on calls on mobile than it does on my PC.
Very weird. Very strange.
I have no idea why. It's really weird and annoying, but oh well.
Top 5 best numbers. Number 5. Number 2. Number 4. Number 3.
That reminds me, I had a dream about Codename Kids Next Door the other night. I cannot for the life of me remember what it was about.
Been a while since I've had a dream about, like, a cartoon. I haven't watched cartoons in a while. What was the last dream that I had? Because the thing is, I very vividly remembered, like, a crazy one I had the other day. But, like, you know, brain ditched all of that information in favor of replacing it with, you know, relevant stuff throughout the day. So,
Yeah.
okay. Farm still healthy? Good. Number 2, -7. Math! Math.
One dream I did have the other day is have you played Persona 4?
I haven't played any of the Persona games, actually.
Okay. So in Persona 4, there is the main plot of the game is you're trying to hunt down a guy who killed or girl who killed a culprit who killed two people, and so that's like what the main characters of the game are trying to do. They're trying to solve a murder case, and eventually they figure out who did it. But the whole game revolves around like a TV world.
Okay.
So you're like they go inside a TV and there's like another world where they fight monsters and there's these dungeons based on whatever psychological problems the characters are going through, that kind of thing. So the dream I had was about the killer from that game getting trapped in a sitcom like WandaVision style. And I'm
Oh,
like, I feel like there's something there.
that sounds fun.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I need to talk about it with someone who actually is into Persona because they're probably also gonna be like, yeah, that feels like that there's something there. That's a spin-off game.
I just like that as a concept.
Yeah.
Getting locked in WandaVision. Hey, one guy has it going. Also, Diamond says, "Oh, Papyrus, I burned the water." Sans, how the fuck did you burn the water? Oh god, that just reminds me of that that one clip. Sans, I just snorted a suitcase full of coke, and I'm starting to feel the effects.
It is kind of funny.
I just snorted a suitcase full of Pepsi.
Okay, that's a good one. It is kind of interesting how, despite the fact nobody in Undertale has a canonical voice, again, their voices are just sound beeps. Yeah. Everyone has like a very, very clear of the idea of what they would sound like if they were fully voiced. Like Sans is like, "How you been doing?" He's just almost a little Patrick-y, where he's just very deep voiced, relaxed, kind of,
right.
Almost kind of like the voice that Synthetic does for Barnaby Beagle in Welcome Home.
Oh,
almost
yeah,
like
right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think Sans was an influence on that.
Yeah. I just thought of that. Yes, yeah, part of the audition for that. Yeah.
And he cheated. And he
That's
did the entirety of. Oh, hello, Super Gamers here. Hello.
And then Papyrus is just like a more snooty, uppity, knight-like Skeletor.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean, Skeletor's pretty up his own ass, but like Papyrus is like times
Yeah.
12 that.
Yeah, just extra
Like times
snooty.
12, and he doesn't have the authority to be that.
Yeah.
Oh damn it! Ah, damn you, waterhole! Welcome to the underground. How are your balls? If you want to look around. Screw it. Something was said. I think that might have been a link that Sealy was sending. Yeah, sorry, I got that kind of thing censored on Twitch. Mostly for the sake of making sure that, you know, spam and scams that use URLs can't get through. So, yeah, sorry about that. No, but the onomatopoeia, I think that's the term, is pretty strong with Undertale. Like, just the way that the characters sound from like their beeps and boops definitely characterizes what they would probably sound like.
Yeah, like it's both of that and both the writing is strong enough where you can very much get a very strong feel for the voice from just the writing.
Yep. Yeah, you can get that. So, but what's funny though is that wonder if the hot dogs tasted good. Probably not. No, they probably tasted like backwash and I mean, who knows what the hot dogs even were made from? Like,
Yeah, I don't think they have
we
like
need
I don't got Nathan's hot dogs down in the
right.
underground.
But once I bet they were just like cattails and that's it.
Could believe
Like they're like, oh god, no, it's all seeds. But anyway,
that sounds incredible.
no, it's funny you mentioned the whole like oh frickin' you know the voice thing and everybody homogenized has the same sort of canon voice. I mean, kind of, but also I know there have been a couple of cases where some people have had like specific canonical voices in their heads for like what the character sounded like. I've watched a lot of Undertale Let's Plays, which is funny because the game kind of Toby has got a very weird sixth sense when it comes to knowing exactly what he's making and exactly what's going to happen. Toby did make fun of the fact that people were going to watch a lot of Let's Plays to try and recapture the spirit and the feeling of like what it was like to experience Undertale for the first time, despite the fact that you'll never get that first time back. Which, you know, fuck you, Toby.
Yeah, I don't like that it has Flowey call people out for watching a playthrough of the genocide route, though.
I don't know about that. I think that's good commentary. I think like it was kind of it's funny how it's another example of a moment where Toby kind of like, you know, gets in front of he gets in before anybody like basically again he's got really good future sight when it comes to whatever he's
Yeah,
writing.
I
Like,
mean, pointing it out at one just it's kind of how it's presented though. Like if just pointing it out, it's just like I bet you're watching a playthrough of this, you're watching a playthrough of this, aren't you? Because you didn't want to do it yourself. I see what you did there, but it's like that would be kind of funny. But the way it's kind of presented also does feel a little condescending. It's like, yeah, you were too much of a coward to play it yourself, so you're watching a Let's Play. I see what's going on here. It's like, hey, fuck you, man. Like,
I mean, you are right. You are right. Yeah. On the other hand, I do kind of respect that he has his own like antagonist character shitting on you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that very much is a Flowey move where Flowey would like crack his knuckles and be like, "I'm gonna ruin your life."
Yep.
So,
though, funny enough, that did actually encourage me to actually play the genocide route myself. I'm like, no, fuck you, Toby. It's just a video game.
He's easy. He only has 1 HP. Oh, of course. Hey, look, the Queen of Sauce! Is it weird that I was never really interested in Undertale and FNAF as a kid? Well, that's not weird. Everybody's got their own little thing that they're interested in.
I hate hearing that phrase, when I was a kid. Undertale came out when I was in my, like, junior year of college.
Welcome to the olds.
God, I'm old.
You got nothing on me. I'm in my early 30s. I am
Same.
dust. Well, I'm like,
Same.
okay. All right, fine. Let's not make it a competition. Everybody's old. Anyway, oh no. So back to what I was talking about, though. So like, even though like pop culture wise, everybody's got sort of the fan and voices for. Oh, hello, Kyle is here. Hello.
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 How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Cooking a pizza.
Nice. What you been up to?
Playing Wargroove. Wargroove 2.
War Groove. What is that?
It's a Chucklefish game.
Oh, I
Made a turn-based strategy game.
I'm trying to remember. Chucklefish did not. Well, what have they published? I think they published
Starbound.
Starbound. Did they publish Stardew at one point? I forget.
I know they have a few big titles.
I don't remember.
Oh no, they do Terraria or something.
No, I think Terraria was it was Relogic and something else probably. I think like the porting was done by a different company. But anyway, now back to like Undertale sounds and like character sounds though. I've watched a lot of Let's Plays. Back to what I was saying, and not everybody completely lined up with exactly the way that characters were. What we canonically kind of think the characters' voices are now. Like, there were fringe cases of people who they had their own particular like fan and voices for how certain things were supposed to sound. And what's funny is that like they ended up getting shit on for that by some of the members of like the community because they were just
So
like,
freaking
what?
stupid.
Yeah, they're just like, why do you make Papyrus sound like that? That's awful. God, make him sound like Skeletor. Like everybody is making him sound like that. And it's like, yeah, everybody is kind of like collectively agreed as a fandom and community that that's the case, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. Like Toby never came out on record to be like, yeah, he sounds like Skeletor except more pompous. Like he never said that.
I mean that's it's just a popular headcanon. At the end of the day, it's still not canon. Canon is just the beeps and boops. It's just a very popular and widely accepted headcanon. That doesn't mean there still can't be people who disagree with it or have different headcanons or different variations of it.
If anything,
like I was saying, yeah.
If anything,
like I was saying,
I love hearing other people's interpretations because it's a fresh new take on what I originally thought was something pretty straightforward.
Yeah, same. Like I was also saying the same. I was saying this to Habby the other day. Or when we had another casual stream chat like this. So Habby doesn't like the popular popular headcanon in the Hat in Time community that Moonjumper and Snatcher both split from the Prince, and
Right.
so I'm like that's totally valid. That's I like that headcanon, and a lot of other people do too. But doesn't mean you have to like it or you have to do anything with it. You can have your own ideas and.
It also means like it doesn't have to be true either. It's a fan thing,
Yeah. Everybody's free to enjoy whatever stuff they like and and not like whatever stuff they don't like. And I just hate it when everybody will.
When like says Toby has canon voices for the characters in Deltarune. Interesting.
Deltarune's not voiced either. Deltarune's also just beeps and boops.
I mean, like obviously, like at some point along the line, Toby has probably wondered or envisioned what the characters probably sound like. But he
probably has like a vague idea, but I don't think he's like gone ahead and like he wouldn't like have an actual like okay, this is exactly what they sound like. Probably unless he did like actual auditions.
Right.
Like I'm sure one reason Skeletor Papyrus is really popular is probably because Skeletor was an inspiration. Like I'm sure that's one of the many things that like inspired Papyrus's kind of attitude and character. But I don't think that that doesn't mean necessarily that that's like the one thing that he drew from. There's probably a lot of elements in there, and he doesn't even know what.
I don't even really know if I've ever heard him directly even call out Skeletor as a name for like, a character that was an inspiration.
Like but you can like tell that's like totally influence,
Well,
like inspiration. Yeah,
maybe. I don't know. Like I don't really see. I mean, he's a villain character and he's a skeleton. There's a lot of stuff outside of that in Papyrus, so I don't know. Hard to say.
Well, I think the yeah laugh was also kind of at least loosely Skeletor inspired, I think.
All right, possibly. Also, are there any birthdays that I'm missing here? Pam! Where's Pam? Shoot. Pam! Pam!
Hey, kid. The name's Pam.
Hey, kid, name's Pam. How you doing? I've been chain smoking for 20 years. Hello. Oh, no, I don't want to sit next to Pam. Here, Dad. Oh, is it my birthday today? You know who else's birthday it is? I'm sorry.
Funny thing is, Pam is someone's mom.
Hello, Haley. How's it going? Imagine it was how the Peter Griffin laugh sounded like. Oh, God. Hey, Sans. Look at me. I'm Papyrus Undertale. Jesus Christ. Okay. Hey, kitty. Alright, I've already pet the cat, apparently. Alright. Pretty much got a whole day ahead of me. What do I want to do? Flowey's laugh comes from Ronald McDonald.
Actually, didn't Family Guy actually reference or make a joke about Undertale, or was that some fake thing that got spread around the internet?
That sounds like something that was faked. I'm not going to say whether or not it was or was not faked, but that definitely sounds like one of those things that, like, oh, gee, Lois, this is worse than that one time I was in Deltarune.
Yeah, that was it. I think it was fake, though. I think it was just a really well-made fan animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people thought it was real, but no, it was just a really well-made fan animation.
I try to remember that the internet is vast with a lot of very talented people, and they're capable of making the most cursed things possible.
Oh, yeah.
So if you see something that looks like it's canon, there's a very good chance it's not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like a really well-made fan animation with like an AI voice.
No, I don't think it was AI. Dude, there are a lot of really good Peter Griffin impressions.
True.
Ridiculously good.
True. It could have been. It would be nice if it was somebody doing an actual impression and not an AI voice.
Well, hey, come on. Have a little bit of faith in humanity.
I'll try. I try, but it's hard.
I think, like, maybe it's just me, but I feel like a lot of people, like, are dooming and glooming when it comes to AI, including me to a certain extent, because, like, I definitely want there to be regulations, and I want people to realize how shitty it is to use generative AI, because it's literally just grift and theft. Please, for the love of all that is holy, don't use it. Like, even as a meme, just don't. Like, it was fun. It was funny at first when, like, it wasn't too close to what it was supposed to be, and it was sort of, like, there for the memes. But now that, like, it's actively getting good enough that it can take people's jobs, it's less funny. But you know what? I think as time has moved forward, I've seen so many cases of people that are now starting to stomp their feet and saying, like, all right, enough's enough. Like, we're done. This was funny at first, but it's not funny anymore. This is stupid. We want actual people to be making these things, not AI. And I've seen a couple of cases of that, as well as, like, I've seen some really good cases of some companies that were called out for it. I think there's, like, two specifically just recently that were really famous. One of them being Wacom, or like Wacom or whatever it's called. You remember that, right?
Yeah, I have no clue how you pronounce it. Buying their tablets since I was like 13, and I still don't know how you pronounce their company's name.
I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about, right? The Wacom AI scandal thing?
I think I heard about it. I don't know much of the details, though.
Oh, Sealy says, what is crowd control? Do I still have something labeled as crowd control? Hold on a second. Or is it still enabled on my channel for some reason? If that's the case, it shouldn't be. Crowd control, we were using that just yesterday. Ignore. Hold on a sec. Did crowd control leave those buttons? Is that why you're asking me about that? Oh no, it got rid of the buttons after it was done. All right, so I don't. What the heck? It's sort of up on the stream. Are you talking like, you know, the button for crowd control is sort of sitting on the window? If that's the case, like, I don't have any crowd control related things up, so just ignore. I was using it the other day for Halo, so don't worry about it. I still see click to interact with the stream. Well, you can't. I don't have... Oh, God. I don't even know what crowd control would be for Stardew Valley. What the hell? Anyway. Button is up, but there are no options available. Okay. Well, I might disable that. Have you heard of the Owl House, says Shenanigans. I have, but I haven't watched it. I've been told that it is amazing and that I probably should. And one day I probably will.
I would like to finish it someday. I've seen like the first half of the first season and then nothing beyond that. I feel bad because I wanted to watch the rest and then I just still never did and haven't.
I heard it's one of those really rare instances of a show that, I mean, we were talking about this the other day of like, I think, you know, almost like like Steven Universe, where it was a really good show. It was given a lot of wiggle room and a lot of room to like work its magic story-wise, and then they were given enough seasons, although they kept on, like, the threat of being canceled kept on being dangled above them, and I think it was mainly because of how progressive the show was. And how, like...
No, it was apparently something like, so Dana Terrace, the creator, who is, by the way, is the girlfriend of the creator of Gravity Falls. So the reason the Owl House exists is because it's the creator of it worked on Gravity Falls. She was one of the main people on Gravity Falls. She's Alex Scherz, the creator of Gravity Falls' girlfriend. Basically, from there, she got to pitch her own show, and that show was Owl House. So
nepotism.
Well, that's the animation industry for you. And but as Owl House went on a bunch, or like was in production, like at first was like, yeah, we love it. We want more of the people who are on Gravity Falls making shows. That's also why we got Amphibia. That's also why we got Big City Greens. It's just like they gave everybody who worked on Gravity Falls their own show after Gravity Falls, basically. And so as Owl House was like being made, was in development, people were getting shuffled around at Disney. Things were changing, things were changing up, like in the meeting, the boardrooms. And then eventually some executive comes along and says like, yeah, we don't feel like the show fits our brand as much now. And it's like, Dana is like, well, you didn't say that back when you greenlit it like a year and a half ago. And they're like, yeah, but then like, because that was different people. Now I'm in charge and I don't think the show fits the brand of the channel as much. And it would have been better on something like Disney Plus, but we didn't have that back then. So, let's just wrap this up. And really, it was just a matter of Dana. It's just like executive politics. Some people decide they don't like a thing on a channel, and they decide they're going to cancel it, and that's it. They said if it would have been something better for something like Disney Plus had that been around at the time when it was being developed, but it wasn't. So
excuses, man.
It's just some people just kind of when the suits decide they don't want something around anymore, they cancel it, and that's as simple as that.
Right. Nah, that's garbage.
They want that money to go somewhere else, and because they're like, well, we could spend it on your show that I'm not. Well, we could keep spending the money on your show that I'm not particularly personally fond of, or I can go and take your money and go spend it on something that I want to spend it on, and I can do that because I am the guy in charge, and it's
God forbid we actually throw our money towards stuff that people actually want to see. And also, Frankie says simul screening on YouTube as well. How long have you been doing that? I started doing it at the beginning of this year because I am no longer under contract by Twitch to be exclusive over there. Though, like I said a little bit earlier, that doesn't mean that you should just completely jump ship over to YouTube, because there are fun things that I can only do on Twitch, like crowd control, and some other fun things I have down the pipeline, so,
And also, money because my YouTube channel has more subscribers, followers, whatever, than my Twitch, and I still can't make any money through ads or anything on YouTube. I don't qualify. Meanwhile, I've been a Twitch affiliate for years.
Well, making money on YouTube has been like the biggest myth for years. You know, it's like it used to be a thing, but nowadays it's like, nah.
Nobody really does it. Everything's like, everything's through like pay. If you're making money through YouTube, it's because you're making content, and then you have people supporting you on like Patreon or whatever.
Right. Frankie says,
Speaking
also,
of which,
both are live, but YouTube is half a second ahead. Well, not both of them are going to be able to work in the exact... Like, I'm sending them out in completely different codec formats. You know, like, I have optimized them their very best for the platforms that I'm sending them out to. Like, I looked into this. I researched this. I've done my best. Like, I don't know. Whichever one wins out at the end. I guess that's the one that just has the better setup in terms of lag. Disney most likely canceled it because of the... I mean, like I said, there are a lot of people that theorize that it was because of LGBTQ terms, but like Nova said, I'm much... Yeah, as much as I want to say it was LGBTQ stuff, which, by the way, there's a chance that a part of it probably was, but I'm a little bit more interested in... I mean, that would imply that Disney is actively, like, spiteful on any particular groups of people.
They're not.
And I am more...
Dana
I'm more tempted to say that this had something to do with a network executive that thought he was making the right call, and who like, you know, he wanted to move money in a direction that he thought it would succeed in. You know.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Dana said when she talked about it. She said it didn't. She's like, I don't really think, like, that's a good conspiracy theory. Like, maybe they're really thinking that, and maybe they're just not telling me. But from everything that I know and everything that I've seen, she said it was really more, it didn't have anything to do with that. It was more a matter of this executive wasn't, for whatever reason, wasn't particularly fond of my show and decided they wanted to take the money from it and use it for something else.
Mm-hmm. You only really make money when the people arbitrarily decide to watch your content. Last message wasn't a complaint, just an observation. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, for YouTube... Oh, I'm running out of steam here. I mean, YouTube has always been about just, like, clickbaiting and, like, trying to beg to the almighty algorithm to make something that works properly. And to be fair, every single site is like that. It's kind of why I personally have really leaned into the idea of people doing more, like, you know, crowd support kind of stuff, like Patreon or Ko-fi or whatever.
Do you have a Patreon bit?
I've considered making a Patreon, but I have asked the question to my community, I think at least once before, and I asked, like, you know, straight up, like, full on, if I were to open up some sort of a crowd support line, like a Patreon or a Ko-fi or something to that degree, would you be interested in doing monthly supports? At which point, I had a handful of people that said yes, but funny enough, there were people that said no as well. And generally, I just don't think the support is there, or I don't think it's worth it to try and set it up. I am much more interested in, like, if it's something that I feel like it could be financially viable and that I could do, that'd be one thing. I just don't think it is. And I'm not going to demand people hand me money if it's something that is not going to support me in a significant way. Yeah.
I think you might be underestimating yourself, but I can understand that.
I don't. It's kind of one of those, like, if I open it up and if it turns out that I'm only making like $10 a month, like, I mean, on top of that, if I open up something like a Patreon or a Ko-fi, I feel like I would need to, you know, I would need to come up with something exclusive that people would want to have as a thanks for the support of some capacity.
Some people do stuff like earlier access to VODs, things like that.
I'm not really into that.
Or like like streams that are only for the people who are on the Patreon.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because one guy I follow, he's really big in the Shadowverse community. He does he doesn't have a Patreon. He has like people that like pay him through YouTube. Like that's kind of like a Patreon
Okay,
thing,
yeah,
but it's
right.
like through
Being
YouTube.
a
Like
YouTube,
it's like YouTube. I don't know. YouTube
right,
channel member or whatever it is. Yeah.
that thing.
So he has that, and then he does streams on YouTube that are just for those people. You can only access those if you're like paying through that.
Run the numbers. How many people are making content? How many people are watching content? The ratio is only getting worse for creators. I guess partially that's kind of a reason. I'm more myself. I am more focusing my decision to make a Patreon or something like that strictly from a standpoint of like I just don't think I have the kind of user base necessary to be able to do it. I forget. Is it Shane's birthday today? I think it might be. Dang. I don't think I can make it over to him in time. Yeah, it's memberships. What does the Snatcher impression sound like without the effects, is the question of the year. I don't even have the effects set up. It's basically a heck of a lot of rasp. And then a lot of yelling. That kind of thing. Here. Let me see if I can, like, hand a daffodil over to him. Hey, kitty. That was kind of a weak, crappy Snatcher impression, let's be real. But it's sort of like that. There's a lot of rasp. Anyway, so back to what I was talking about. I wanted to talk about this because I laughed hysterically when I saw this. Yeah, there was a controversy involved with Wacom not too long ago. A lot of people in the chat probably know what I'm referring to. So Wacom went and they make advertisements for their products, obviously, because that's something that you need to do. Hi, is it your birthday? Well, fuck you, sir. I guess it's not his birthday. Also, good to know he doesn't like that. What is his birthday, anyway? It's tomorrow. Understood. I don't know if I can get a large
You
amount
keep
of that.
doing that.
What?
You keep doing that.
Keep doing what?
Is it your birthday today? No, it's tomorrow.
Oh. Well, I just want to make sure I get people's birthdays. Anyway, Wacom. Let's get back to that. Right, they advertise their products, like most companies do. And they made an advertisement recently, like a company is supposed to. However, people noticed something interesting about this advertisement. The funny dragon that they had advertising the thing looked off. And, like, in a lot of different weird ways. The art looked really inconsistent. There were a lot of, like, really weird scuff parts. Almost as if it wasn't created by a human. And so, then people started, like...
Was this like what happened with the... Was it like what happened with the D&D manual where they had, like, an AI generated image in it and they had to, like, pull the book and apologize?
I think, like... Oh, man, I forgot about the D&D manual thing. But, yeah, very similarly, they... I mean, look, D&D, they have 100%, 110% no excuses whatsoever. Like, they're supposed to have in-house artists for this. They are supposed to be making this art for a product that is being sent out to people. Like, absolutely zero excuses whatsoever on their part.
Oh, yeah.
The Wacom situation was a little bit different, however, in that they released a statement about that. And first of all, they did apologize, and they said that, like, they didn't want to make any accusations right away, just being like, oh, yeah, it was totally AI. They basically just said, we don't know the origin of the image. All we know is that we got it through a stock picture, like basically a stock picture repository that they get images from.
Yeah.
They saw it and they're like, "Oh, that looks like a cute picture. Let's go ahead and get that." And then they used it
Oh,
for their advertising. And then I guess they just didn't check to see whether or not there was any problems with AI generated art or anything. Um,
oh yeah.
and
It was
so
a
that
stock
was the
image that
reason
turned
why it
out to be.
happened. And people found out. Turns out, yeah, that dragon is a part of stock images through like Adobe Stock. And so there is a little bit of leniency with that, just a little bit. Though there is one thing that people have pointed out, and I absolutely agree with this. Why don't they have an in-house artist for that? Like,
You'd think they would, yeah.
it's
Why would they?
Wacom.
You'd think they would.
Wacom literally is advertising tools for artists. You would think that they would have artists to do a bunch of the work to advertise the tools. Like, why are they going and getting like stock images for that? That just doesn't seem like that's a good idea. On top of that,
Or
like,
the edited by like some video editing intern that was just told, hey, make us an ad, and you don't get any resources, you just have to go and get the stock images. Because I worked a job that was kind of like that.
yeah, I mean, like it kind of comes down to cost cutting and
I was
not
yeah
giving
I
the
was
resources that you need at and what the job actually requires.
yeah, that was a job I had once. A job that I liked, but still a job that I had was basically making product videos for this one company, and they basically told me, hey, we need a product video for this thing, go make it. And it was up to me to find the stock images, the stock footage, put and then put it all together in the video editor. And the only thing I got was in like what they wanted the text to say, like in the video. Like I had to have text show up to have the video like say certain things about the product, and that was all they gave me.
I feel like something like that should absolutely be like company scanned, or like they should be there to give like proper direction and support for that. That seems a little bit iffy.
Yeah, it would have been nice if we'd actually had like company stock like images and things to work with. Like I had to go look on the internet for like free stock stuff, or stuff like where I could use like a company account to like get from images from like from like these stock sources. But yeah, I had to go and like find free or available stuff to use in that in those product videos, because that they didn't give me anything to work with except, hey, we want a product video for this thing, but then it's got to have this text.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, no. I feel like they shouldn't be going, good luck, buddy. There should be a little bit of support and a little bit of like, I don't know. They should vet that a little.
Yeah, and then so it shouldn't surprise you that then that company then laid me off a couple of months later, and they almost collapsed entirely.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah,
Lethal Comp is
that
great.
was
Have fun. Lethal Comp is very fun.
Yeah.
And also, Sealy said gonna go play
Yeah.
Lethal Company. Heck yeah, boy. Not a huge fan of Wizards, but they definitely got done dirty by Hasbro. Here, man. Good God. I mean, a lot of people are being like done dirty by the economy right now. Just like, screw you. We don't need the workforce. Goodbye. And then they proceed to replace it with AI, and nobody likes that. But anyway,
like when I worked for that, like during their most tumultuous period, and it's like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So anyways, so funny enough, like, Wizards of the Coast, I think there was another company as well. Like, Wizards of the Coast, Wacom, and I think there was another one that just recently happened. Literally just recently. And it's kind of become a trend almost for people to call out when big, like, money-making bastards use AI art instead of, like, actual art. And that has forced a lot of companies to end up dialing back on a lot of the decisions they've made, to a point that like there is now an article on The Verge, which I'm not a fan of, like Vox Media, let's be real, but at least they're a publication. The Verge made an article that was talking about how a bunch of companies were being bullied into like removing generative AI from their from their work cycle because people were
Good.
pointing them out. And I'm sitting there like, hell yes.
Good.
Yeah. Like, don't use AI if you've got money and if you've got the resources. Just make it.
Don't use it at
Hire
all.
people.
Even if you don't have the money and resources, don't use it.
Mm.
Unless it's like an ethically sourced AI, but we don't have many of those right now.
I mean,
Maybe eventually we get to a point where we have, generative models that are taking, images from artists and such who are actually consenting to have their art used for that. But,
See, I don't know
that's
about
not the
that.
case right now.
I don't know about that because I don't know if you heard about like the court case with it's not Midjourney, it's ChatGPT, I believe. The company involved with ChatGPT. They are currently in legal proceedings for ChatGPT and the fact that it's been skimming across like actual publications and stealing from them and regurgitating the information from them. And like
That's right.
right. And one of the defenses that they had was basically with the current setup that copyright has and the stranglehold that it has over media and over how the internet works, there's no way that a function like a functional system like theirs could work unless they allowed the use of their products. And everybody is looking at them being like, then you're not allowed to be a product. Like that's like I think somebody made it a very good point. Like, if your product requires ripping off somebody else in order for you to be able to make that product, you're not selling a product. You are selling a grift.
Yeah, and it's plagiarism.
Right? Straight up. Like, so if anything, I mean that kind of proves that AI models need a massive amount of data in order for them to work. And that kind of tells me that, like, in our current day and age, with the way that we currently set up these generative AI models, you can't make them ethical. And I think
Not currently. No.
or like, you could definitely try to make it ethical, I guess, but then you're going to have a really lackluster product at the end of the day. And most companies are going to look at the prospect of doing that and they'll go like, well, no, that's not worth it at all. So,
Yep.
Funny enough, what a lot of people are saying is, if you can't make it profitable, if it's impossible to do that without ripping somebody off, maybe don't frickin' do it.
Yeah.
Hey, how about that? Like,
that's not at the point.
So I will say, I'm very wary and very worried about the future of a lot of creative industries, including stuff like voice acting, which I've wanted to get into for the longest time. And it's frustrating to see so many people. I mean, you saw that one thing recently where SAG, the union that is supposed to be protecting actors of all shapes and sizes, whether it be like physical actors, voice actors, and like they protect the writers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, SAG-AFTRA.
They just recently sold all voice actors up the river, and they made the announcement that they are directly partnering up with this one particular like company that specializes in making voice AI, and they are working out. They're working out some sort of like contracts or some kind of like an ethics of AI use for voice, for like a wide encompassing industry wide standard for using voice AI. And all the voice actors came out and went, "The fuck you are," because like there is no ethical use of AI in a medium like that because a couple of reasons.
It's just replacing a person.
Well, like, number one, like, all right, from a quality standpoint, you're really shitting up everything just by giving people that option. But yeah, the number one main thing, you're just taking away a job from somebody else. I mean, think about this for a second. if you were a big industry bigwig, what would you prefer to do if you wanted to save money? Would you want to hire somebody, or would you want to go for the cheaper option of going for AI, which is capable of making a ton of voices for you? Like, and that means that anybody who is trying to start up from the ground isn't going to be able to get a job. Because, like, then some other people were saying, well, it's fine because that means that, like, I mean, I'm sure that AI isn't going to be good as regular actors, so therefore, like, they are absolutely going to have regular voice actors in projects. Don't worry about that. They're just going to use it for all the background characters. Don't worry about it. It's like, where do you think voice actors get their start? They get their start from being one of the lower tier voice actors on a project, like a background voice or like a part of background Walla or something. You take that away, suddenly you don't have a way into the industry. I know I've complained a heck of a lot about this, but like it seriously does boggle my mind.
It's really fucked up.
I don't know. On AI, I'm fine if an artist trains his own model off his own hard work, then maybe sells those images at a discount. Yep, but nobody really does that. And again, like,
could ever produce enough work to train an AI.
Right. I said this before. In theory, if a person or a collective of artists got together for the sole purpose of just doing nothing but making art for AI art generators and then released those tools out to the public, I mean, there's little to nothing wrong about that aside from you know that there's going to be a company that's going to look at that and go, ooh, money save. But that's if the tool's any good, which, by the way, probably won't be, because, yeah, you need a bigger sample size. And keep in mind, like, Midjourney is currently dealing with their own little legal snafu right now of, what was it, like, 16,000 artists that they have sampled for the sake of, like, Midjourney. It's either 16,000 or 6,000, I forget, 6,000 or 16,000. That's a very big difference in number. But, like, they've got a very large amount of different artists' names that can be used as prompts in Midjourney. So, you know, like, such artist's style. In the style of, you know, so-and-so. So, like, clearly, the art has been fed into the system if that is a prompt. The system knows of the art and knows what, like, it's basing it off of, right?
Yep.
And again, that's another one of those legal things that's currently happening.
And was not take, and if they wanted style of such and such probably did not consent to having an AI make stuff in their style.
Nope. For anybody that is still like defending AI voice, I mean I think I've made this point a couple of times. Several people have. But AI voice, consider this. How would you feel if you had your voice stolen and then used without your permission in a random project that you didn't consent to? Like, would you be all right with that? Oh, on top of that, imagine if somebody did that and then used your voice in a project that makes money. There's another layer to it. Like, somebody made money off your voice? Frankie says, network error, had to reload. What'd I miss? Basically, I was just complaining about AI still. So you didn't miss much. I complain about that all the freaking time.
We all do.
But anyway, no, it's a massive problem with consent. It's a massive problem with destroying jobs. It's a massive problem with, like, inefficiency as well, because it takes so much freaking electricity just to be able to, like, you know, like, train an AI in the first place. It's just kind of cartoonish. It's basically a bunch of eggheads in a room that are sitting there thinking, like, how can we make a new industry? How can we do something that will make us boatloads of money without stopping and thinking about the consequences of everyone else around them?
Yep. Their answer is stealing from people. And people using people's literal work and likenesses, like, without their consent.
Okay, I'm out of energy. I gotta go. If you own your voice, then can turn it into a tool for yourself, that's fine. But if someone else owns it, that's not okay. It's funny you mentioned that, Frankie, because this has been pointed out a couple of times by a few people, and it's unfortunately true. There is no copyright or trademark for a voice. There isn't. Like, that has never been a thing that anybody has thought about doing. And honestly, that's a massive, massive like rabbit hole to fall into, because if suddenly a voice could be copyrighted or trademarked, does that mean impressionism can no longer be a thing? Like, you know, what do you do about that? For the most part, like, just that's hard to say, man.
Now I'm wondering why corporations haven't tried to do that and then tried to sue impressioners.
God, right? But yeah, technically nobody can really. I guess, like, technically speaking, I suppose if somebody can make like a really definitive case that somebody is actively using their voice for the sake of a project. Oh, interesting. I think. Hold on. Did we have a cutout at one point? I think we might have. Hold up. Oh yeah, our network connection is kind of screwy right now. Why is that happening? Yeah, give me a minute. Are you guys still there?
I'm
Yep,
here.
still here.
Okie dokie. Human identity is something Congress has been unwilling to protect because they get paid by companies that technically profit off of that data. Ahem, Google, ahem. Right, yeah.
Yep.
Lagging both on YouTube and Twitch for me. Yeah, that's interesting. So I think that means something on my end is screwing up. Going to work. Have a good night. Hey, have a good night, Frankie. Thanks for popping in. It's been fun. Okay, we're
Hey, you
back
are.
to the output that we are supposed to be at, but I wonder what made that dip happen. I know that my ISP has been doing a whole bunch of interesting little wizardry lately, and I'm not sure why. I really hope that doesn't mess with like the quality of the stream when I take a look at the upload later. Okay. And if it does, then I guess I'll just have to do a manual upload of the dang thing. Great. Anyway. Oh, no. AI is, like... It's a heck of a thing that, like, I mean... You know, legal precedents are currently trying to be set as we speak. There are plenty of lawsuits currently being slapped in place for it. I would like to think that, like, you know, corporate greed, you know, on the part of... I think the thing that's going to undo AI at the end of the day is, you know, companies like Midjourney and ChatGPT are going to dig into the wrong pot, essentially. That's what I assume. That's what I think's going to happen. They're going to try and steal something from a major network or studio, and that is what's going to kill AI at the end of the day.
Yeah, or they'll get too greedy and the government will have to intervene, like kind of what happened. But kind of what killed the whole loot box trend in video games was this one Star Wars game got super intensely greedy with boxes, and then the government like had to step in. It's like, yeah, this is gambling and it's being sold to kids under Star Wars, which is owned by Disney, a big brand and owned by Disney. Disney was not happy about this. So then that happened, then that killed the box trend.
You say that, however, that is not necessarily the case for the United States. Like, there has been no legal precedent set for loot boxes in the United States. Like, a lot of bills were... They attempted to try and push them through, but I didn't see any actually succeed.
No, they didn't, but the hot water was on them.
The countries that did were over in, like, Europe, which...
Yeah.
That's about enough for... a lot of like studios to look at it and go, okay, well, if we can't do it over here, then we're not going to do it at all.
The heat got it got too hot for them to handle, and it's like if we keep pushing this, the government regulation is going to get more serious here in the U.S. and more major countries. So let's back off of this and find some new gold mine to chase.
Right. I mean, it's a case of like seeing how far they can push things, and then when they find out they push too much, they back off a little bit. And probably, like, hand a little money underneath the table to be like, hey, guys, wouldn't it be really nice if this suddenly disappeared? Now, I'm not saying that did happen. I have no proof of that. However, I don't know. I get a sneaking suspicion that kind of thing happens. But anyway.
Probably.
What I think, the thing that ends up keeping things from going those routes is pop culture at the end of the day. And I think, like, as long as people continue to keep pushing back against AI and making very clear points that AI is thievery, AI is lazy, AI is, like, tearing a very major part of what makes you human out of our, out of our society. Like, as long as people continue to keep pushing that, I think it's gonna be all right at the end of the day. As well as
I hope so.
There are a ton of people. Yeah, what was that?
No, I hope that's the case because that's how NFTs never got were a blip on the radar.
Yeah, how did NFTs end up? Yeah, what's the cost of one of those funny little monkeys nowadays?
Yep.
Fucking Christ.
Pretty much nothing. Yeah,
like,
so
the same people that are doing this bullshit with generative AI are the same people that tried to push for, like, ooh, crypto coins are going to be the next best thing. Oh, NFTs, guys, you want to get on the boat for this. Oh, dude, Web3, it's the new thing. This is the new age of the internet. Guys, you should join this new metaverse. Buy some land. It's the same grift, different day. It's a bunch of people that are like, hustling and being like, hey, get on the train, otherwise you're going to miss it. It's like, this has been going on for like half an hour now. Well, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just very passionate about this, and it's something that I definitely want to talk about. I hope it doesn't stress you out too much about it. I am trying to make, like, very good points that I think we're going to be all right, Like, it sucks right now, but I think at the end of the day, like, everything that I've just discussed there, like crypto, NFTs, the whole Web3 garbage, metaverse stuff, it's not going to completely go away, obviously. But what is going to happen is it's going to become relegated to its own tiny little corner of the internet where it's going to fester and become obsolete. And you know what?
Yep.
That's close enough to being dead.
Yep, that's what's happened to NFTs, and I'm very glad for that.
Heck yeah, boy.
Yeah.
I'm much more interested in, like, again, I think this whole situation with AI and generative AI stuff has really made me appreciate, I don't know, just, like, more analog and manual things. You have the other channel to make informative stuff like this. Well, I'm sorry. Am I not allowed to be serious every once in a while? Jesus, I can't be a clown 24/7. And it's my stream. God damn it. Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell him what kind of content he can and can't make, man. That's pretty rude.
Right. Welcome to the channel. But no, like, I think it's stuff like this that has made me realize, like, how much I appreciate, like, voice actor shitposts. I love those so much. I love them so much.
Why do you think I love Sean Chiplock, man? That's his whole brand.
Oh, it's one thing I haven't seen yet. Saying a lot of things as Kane. I haven't seen that yet. I need to go watch it. I'm debating on which, like, there are two different versions that are out right now. One of them, which is the unfortunately demonetized version, which sucks. But then he was asking, like, should I replace should I upload a family friendly version, and should I have people give that option? And everyone gave a resounding yes. And so he went and uploaded, like, Alex uploaded a censored version up to YouTube. So that version exists too. And that's the one that actually does get Alex money. So I'll probably go watch, like, both of them, honestly. I just want to hear Kane shout breasts. He's great. I love it.
Oh, you're talking about. Oh yeah, Kane's VA from Digital Circus, right?
Yeah, Digital Circus.
Right.
That dude is a ball of energy.
Yeah, he is hilarious.
Okay.
I love that he kind of got his start. One of the things that kind of put him on the map as a voice actor was doing Spamton's voice for Deltarune animations.
Yep.
And now his big role is playing a crazy AI.
Now maybe I forget. This might not be correct, but I heard that essentially the way that he even got the role of Kane was,
Through the Spamton.
freaking hell, her name. I'm trying to remember.
Goosework.
Gooseworks literally just, from what I hear, went up to Alex and was just like, "Hey, that one thing you did as Spampton, can you just be that for my show?"
Yeah, I mean, like that's probably exactly what she was looking for, right?
And then it's like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And honestly, he does a great job at it, so I love it.
It's perfect. It's a perfect match. Like I could completely understand Goosework seeing that animation and being like, "Shit, this guy is just Kane. This guy is Spampton. That's just Kane. That's what I'm looking for. Let's get him."
Right. I mean, I can also totally see like, oh, hey, there's potential here.
Yeah.
It's just like I see something going on here. Some like, opportunity, a character. And
I
Kane
don't know.
is
Yeah, I
like,
don't know how long Circus has been in development. Like how long she's like had the concept of the characters or anything.
that's a good question.
I'm
Like,
curious about that.
would Kane have existed like during the development or like in the release of Deltarune Chapter 2?
Yeah, I guess it just depends on whenever she came up with the concept for the show, which we don't know when that was. She said I don't think it existed before she got the opportunity to I think she was working with Glitch on some stuff and then she got the opportunity to pitch a show to them and then she came up with the concept because she was thinking of things to pitch them and she wanted to do the story that was inspired by I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I think she pitched it as I have no mouth and I must scream if it looked like I Spy, which is an amazing pitch. I'm so glad they took her up on that. But yeah,
I love that aesthetic and concept. And
know, right?
Now that you mention that, you're right.
Yeah, it's great. But I think it was kind of like how it worked with Alex Hirsch and Gravity Falls. Is he didn't have a concept for a show before somebody came to him and said, "Hey, pitch us a show," and then they're like, "Shit, I gotta come up with something." So Alex ended up coming up with Gravity Falls based on the pun that he thought was funny. The show title. I think it had some other pending titles too, but he had he came up with just a bunch of pitches to give to Disney, and the one that they ended up liking most was the one based on his it's based on my childhood summers, but also Erie, Indiana, and and X-Files and Twin Peaks and all that stuff. Yeah,
God,
they ended up liking that one the most, but he didn't up with those. It was a bunch of pitches that he came up with because Disney was like, "Hey, we want you to make us a show. We like your stuff."
Oh, apparently the video is lagging. Gosh darn it. What is going on? This has to be my internet or it has to be OBS, one of the two. Why? Okay, alright, it's back. Gosh darn it.
I'm so jealous of people who can do that, of people who are somebody comes up with them and say, "Hey, pitch us a show," and then they come up with an idea and then they do, and then that show turns out to be something super amazing and is a massive hit. Because here I am having all of these how do you do that? I have concepts that and stories and things that I would love to be shows or movies or whatever. These stuff I've had for years, and I still feel like it's nowhere near ready for any of that. And meanwhile, people are just doing it because you get asked to, and it's how?
Right. I'm jealous of the fact that they have the opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah.
They happen to be within the right space at the right time to be able to pitch their show and actually make it a thing. Whereas little old me, I'm sitting here with my finger up my nose and just being I don't know, I have this one idea.
I know, like, to be perfectly honest, like, if I did get it, somebody said, like, hey, pitch me something, I would be like, oh god, okay. I would finally kind of try and maybe get my shit together and get those many concepts that I've had for a long time,
I would
like,
try,
into
yeah.
like, now, okay, I think I got enough here where where it could be a pitch, and then if it goes farther than that, I can keep developing it from there and focus solely on that.
Shenanigans says, I really need to do 1,000,000 gruesome ways to die as Snatcher. No pressure, but please. All in all due time.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Patience is a virtue.
That'd be fun. Yeah, that might be fun.
Oh, yes, it certainly would. Though, I really do got to work out... See, I am not good when it comes to music theory. I'm not one of those guys that's good with that. And I feel like I need to work on that and figure that out a little bit more. Because I want to try and rework how I do the Snatcher filter in situations where he is singing. Because I feel like his off-tonal voice doesn't really work really well with music. I've discovered. However, I do feel that his voice would work really well if I made his secondary voice layers. If I take his secondary voice layers and make those counter melodies to the melody that's already going. That would require me to know a thing or two about music theory and knowing what I should and shouldn't do, though. So, yeah, I definitely think.
I know a guy who could help with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine. He's he actually does. He's a musician and he does music commissions. Like he's also VTuber, but like a lot of things that he will do is when he will stream working on music that people are commissioning for.
Good stuff.
Like he will also do music for other streamers. Like if you want, if some streamer or other VTuber wants their own personalized original music for their BRB screens or starting soon screens or end screens or anything like that, or videos.
Flower.
Like that. Yeah, he'll do that for them. So if you want, I can try and
maybe. I mean, I'm not really directly working on it at this moment in time. I got a couple of other people that I am currently I'm friends with a few other people who do music related stuff, and I wondered whether or not I should talk to them or not. Okay,
fair enough.
I hate the fact that these things split into so many different versions of flowers. Why must you do this? I guess I'll just take the ones that there. That'll do. Insert the entire Minion movie. How dare you? That's illegal.
Which one?
FBI, open up. Oh, good question. Which one? Yes. Ba 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 na na. 0 out of 10 slime. Oh, why? I haven't gotten very deep in the mine. Probably should. Though, see, it's the 22nd. I should plant something before the season ends if I, if I want to. The first one. Oh, God, no. Insert the Lorax movie. I'm the Lorax.
The movie that was almost good before
I speak for my knees. What?
That movie is such a tragedy because it was almost so good, and then a bunch of studio bigwigs came in and completely ruined it. Made them cut everything that was good from the concepts
apparently
and
on
the song.
a 3-stream streak, according to the thing. Neat. I wasn't aware that was a thing that was built in the Twitch now. Sweet. How bad can I be? Oh, no.
For the original, what that song was supposed to be. So the original version of that song is called Bickering. And please look it up because it's amazing. And it was a freaking rock opera ballad that was all about the Once-Ler's decision, him really deliberating on this decision to like whether or not he's going to, you know, decide to give into his greed, basically. And it's fantastic. And then some
And instead, they were just
like,
like,
no, no,
no, he just goes full on evil.
no, that's the thing. The show, the version that they did was just like a stupid. The version that they ended up they were forced to scrap that, and then they had the version that you've heard in the movie that's just like him being like, you know, basically in denial of how greedy and evil he is.
Okay.
And where the original version was, no, he was like a serious conscious choice where he like actually understood what he was doing, but he realized he didn't care and he was giving into his self motivation, basically. And it's so freaking good. And that movie was almost a masterpiece. And then,
To be honest,
like,
the guitar and How
like,
Bad Can I Be goes hard.
well,
I mean-
it's a butchering of a much better song, though. Please look up Figuring. I mean, it's great. But yeah, I still mourn what that movie could have been, because please look up like the original concepts for that movie and the song demos most of all, because that's really where the movie that Illumination back then, when they were still studio starting out and they were still wanting to make good movies, they were hot off the heels of the first Despicable Me, which is still a great movie. The sequels are terrible, but the first one is great. And so they were actually trying to make an adaptation of the Lorax that was like as like actually bittersweet and impactful and meaningful as Dr. Seuss's original book.
Dude, yeah, that's exactly the one thing that bugs me about the Lorax movie. I've not personally seen it, but I have heard how the ending goes, and like they basically sweetened it up for the sake of the audience, and I'm like, you missed the point.
Oh,
That's
it was
not
the
what it's
executive.
the entire point of the end of like the Lorax was, well, I done fucked up, but you know, here's a
Now
seed.
it's up
You got a
better.
choice now. You could fix things. And it leaves it on a little bit of a high note saying, hey, not all is lost, and things could be better, and you can make that happen. Which, you know, I think some people have pointed out that that's some interesting commentary in the fact that it's kind of defeatist to have Dr. Seuss basically say, like, well, we messed up, and now we can't do anything about it. Your problem, kid. I mean, technically, he's right, but same time, it's like, well, Jesus,
Yeah.
dude, thanks for leaving it to
The
us,
Lorax is
dirtbag.
the story in the original book is a very dark, very bittersweet, very anti-corporate message. And so obviously this big animation studio trying to make a big budget animated family movie out of it, the suits were looking at, you know, the intended message of the story and the film and tugging at their collars and be like, we can't allow this. We
Right, it's
gotta
like,
we gotta
oh.
soften it, lay it all on some, you know, some literal like a literal straw man cartoon bad guy that because the point of the Lorax is that the Onceler isn't because they added in the movie, they added like another villain because they don't want to actually blame it
But
on the Onceler.
they don't want to villainize the person that's
that
the
completely
villain.
point.
Oh dear God! No,
Yeah.
we got to make sure that people like the Onceler because we're trying to write him as a good character. Like fucking Christ, man.
Not the point of his character. The point is that he's just a guy who is supposed to be like he's supposed to be like an everyman.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Like,
and I do
basically,
like that
he's
tried
got
to
be
do
like the character that you can kind of envision yourself being, and that can potentially be corrupted into doing terrible things.
he was an everyman who was corrupted and made a mistake, and then he has to like atone for it. Not really atone for it, but he's like, I did something.
Atone is not the right word, but
atone's not the right word now. But it's like I messed
Acetone.
up. I did something terrible. It doesn't mean but it means I mistake. And now I have to leave it in the hands of other people not to make the same mistakes that I did. He's a cautionary tale. And
yeah.
again, the movie,
The movie
the
did not
final. I
cover
want
that
to
properly, no.
say the point. I want to say the movie that got made missed the point because no, Illumination knew what when they were making the movie. They knew what they were doing. They knew what the message was. They knew what they wanted to stay true to the original story and what it was about and send that message. It was the bean counters who wanted Lorax to have an SUV. They have an SUV tie-in.
I remember that. Oh my god.
Who ended up went and ruined that movie. And then after that, I think I like to theorize that Illumination just gave up. They're like, yeah, if we're going to be a big animation studio like Pixar, Disney, whatever, and we're going to have this big studio backing us and have their money, we can't try. We can't do
We
anything.
got some lag happening again. I do not understand what's happening tonight. Like, I'm not stretching the internet any far. Like, I'm using like half my up speed. Like, this should not be happening. Ah, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I theorize that after basically the corporate suits went and ruined their Lorax movie, everyone at Illumination just gave up. They're just like, we're not even going to try to make anything good anymore because the same thing will just happen again, and they will ruin our movie and destroy the thing that we're working on to make it as profitable and marketable as possible. So let's just make the most marketable and profitable stuff to begin with out the gate, and we won't even have to worry about that. And I feel really bad because I really like they hadn't had an opportunity then to make a good movie until Mario. And then that was probably like the biggest breath of fresh air for them after so many years of just making the most overly marketable pandering garbage that they're like, finally, we can do something we're passionate about again. And that was Mario.
Right. Well, we'll see how long that sticks.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, I have actually, funny enough, I have not seen the Mario movie, and I have been told is good. And at some point, I will watch. I really should go and get the Blu-ray. I'm one of those fools that I'm like, I'd like the physical copy, please, because digital copies I don't trust. So,
I feel that.
and again, we're still having weird connection issues. I apologize sincerely, everybody, for this connection problem. The fact that it is happening to both platforms means that it is definitely something on my end, whether it be OBS or whether it be my internet. And I don't really know how to fix that. Hopefully, it will not do the exact same thing the next stream. I'm hardwired to the internet on this computer, so I don't know.
Maybe an ISP.
Chicken.
Fried chicken.
Frick! Let me see. Out of curiosity, let me.
Yeah, the Mario movie is quite good. It's not like I don't know why people were going into it expecting like some groundbreaking masterpiece. It's Mario, but for a Mario movie, it's exactly what you signed up for. You get exactly what you signed up for. You get a Mario movie that is fun and colorful and silly, and Jack Black is great, and it's good, and it's a good time. As long as you're not expecting like, it's not you're not you don't go in expecting a Studio Ghibli film,
Yeah.
which some people apparently were, which is like, have you played a Mario game ever?
Yeah, what the hell, man?
The story is not what the Mario is known for. The writing and the writing and story is not the point. Unless they're not making the 1,000 year Paper Mario the 1,000 Year Door movie here. It's just they're making just a general Mario movie. So speaking of which, oh my god, I can't believe that game is getting a remake. I am so excited. Y'all still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm just I'm checking my internet upload. My internet upload is severely tanked for some reason. It's only like 7 meg up, which it shouldn't be. Okay. I think we might have to call this one early, guys, because I can't really do much about this. All right. I hope this isn't a constant. If this is a constant, then I'm gonna have to get in contact with them, and I'm gonna have to like start chewing some heads. Because I should be getting a heck of a lot better than 7 meg up.
It sounds like an issue with the internet, yeah.
Okie dokie. And also, I did the speed test on a completely separate computer as well, just to make sure that it wasn't the computer that was the problem. So, yeah, I'm fairly certain that this is some kind of a problem with the internet. I mean, funny enough, I have had some technicians come out here once or twice to fix a couple of things, which, honestly, I think they broke more than they fixed. So, you know. Okay. Right. So, yeah, I think because we're having these internet issues, we are going to call this a little bit early tonight. I don't want to call it early, but I don't know what else I could do. Like, I'm not going to restart OBS and constantly keep trying to fix this if, you know, the problem's happening on both computers. But hey, whatever. We had a fairly decent stream. I mean, it was 2 hours. And also, like, you know, I think we had fun. Now, I will... Because the quality is probably massively impacted over on the YouTube channel, I'm probably going to re-upload this VOD over to that channel, just so that you don't have to deal with the massive quality drops. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for coming out. This was fun. Thank you
Yay.
for hanging out and doing the stuff and
Yeah,
talking
no
about
problem.
AI and television.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, but since we did end a little early, do you mind if I like privately VC you as soon as we're done here? I want to talk about something.
Oh. Okay. I hope it's nothing too serious. But anyway.
All right.
So right, what do I got planned for the next couple of weeks here? Right. So I've got Mario Wonder, which I will be playing on Wednesday. And hopefully we won't get stopped up by another like super tough challenge where I end up spending like 3.5 hours doing it. Sorry. I got kind of heated. Sauce. Hopefully the next stream goes better. I hope so. And then I am going to play through a little bit more of Splinter Cell Blacklist and get us back up to speed on that save file. Sorry we didn't do that last week, but yeah, again, entire thing was wiped. Okay, dokie. I'm taking off. Again, thank you guys for coming out. See you later. Good night.
Yay.
Night.
See ya.
Bye-bye.